Alrighty, welcome back everyone to our Red Dead Redemption 2 Every Horse series. This is the Blond Chestnut Belgian Draft. This is the first of two Belgian Draft horses. So I am ready to do the review on this one after riding it for about a week and ready to head to the stable and buy the next one as soon as I finish this video. But like I do with all the horses, let's start out with the stats of the Belgian Draft since this is the first time we are seeing one of them. So the Belgian Draft, they have base stats of 3 health, 3 stamina, 3 speed, and 3 acceleration. I believe they are the first horse that we've done that has super evenly distributed stats like that. And at max bonding, it doesn't stay even, which I think is interesting, but it's 6 health, 6 stamina, 6 speed, and 5 acceleration. The 5 acceleration makes sense because it, is a draft horse. So like I did with the Suffolk Punch videos, kind of want to share just a little bit that I found out about these horses from my very quick Wikipedia search. So they're called Belgian draft horses or also Belgian drought horses. They originate in Belgium, obviously. They're also called Brabant. I don't know if I'm saying that right. It's Brabant. That's kind of their nickname for the type of horse because that just refers to a province in Belgium. So the thing that I thought was most interesting about these horses, when I think of a strong horse, I think everyone that isn't, like I mentioned in the previous video, isn't super informed about, equestrian things. They would think like a Shire is like the biggest, strongest horse in the world, but actually the Belgian draft horse is, according to Wikipedia, the strongest horse breed in the world. So I think that's super interesting. The thing that I kind of find intriguing about this horse is the way that it looks. I understand that every image of a horse is different. Every horse looks a little bit different, but I think that Rockstar with this horse could have made it a lot thicker. This one, and I don't feel like the Shire looks like this, but this one, it seems pretty lean for how big of a horse it is. It just seems like a really lean version of the Shire. But on the images that I can find online with this horse, they are super thick. And not only are they tall, but they're also just super, super thick. So I think what they could have or should have done is the Suffolk Punch was also just a super thick horse. So I think they totally could have had this horse be this size, this tall, but then just give it the thickness of the Suffolk Punch, and I think that would match it pretty well. Another thing, a lot of the images of the Belgian drafts that I have seen, they are super thick horses, but a lot of them don't have white coloring around their hooves and mane and tail. It's mostly black. They are a chestnut or a lighter chestnut color, but then they have black mane and tails and black hair around their hooves. When I first started using this horse, I did mess around with that for a little bit. I messed around with the different colors. I switched between like a darker brown, went back to the white, and then I settled on this just sort of chestnut mane and tail to match the rest of its body. I felt like it looked the best. I've never really loved the Belgian drafts with their white mane and tail, but I'm not 100% sure what I'm going to do with the next one. And actually, when I take this one to the stable, I think I'm actually going to switch it to black because I didn't try black. So I'm going to try the black mane and tail and see if I like it. And if I do, I'll include a short clip at the end of the video of it with a black mane and tail. If I don't like it, then it won't be there. But yeah, so that's the stats of the horse. That's a little bit of history or information about the horse in real life. But let's go on to how I feel about it with in regards to playing online. So I picked this area. I picked kind of my mountain man outfit in this area just because I feel like it doesn't look like a super big draft horse. It is a really, really big horse, but it just sort of looks like a really big like hunting horse or kind of just a really big everyday horse that someone would ride. So I felt like this area, particularly up ahead here in Cumberland Forest, would be a good area to match it. So the Belgian draft horses, in combat, they do incredible, same as the Suffolk Punches. I feel like I am more confident with this horse in combat. I don't know if that is because it is bigger, but I feel super confident when it comes to combat. And I don't know if it's because it's bigger and I feel like I could just charge headfirst into combat and it will be totally fine because it doesn't have the best health to be able to withstand something like that. But I just think the way that it looks makes me feel confident in it. As far as predators go, I would say it's middle of the road. It felt like it was better. It was better than the Suffolk Punch, but it wasn't as good as some of the riding horses. I mentioned in the Suffolk Punch videos that I felt like the Suffolk Punch wasn't as good as the riding horses. But I feel like this one is better than the Suffolk Punch. It kind of falls in between the Suffolk Punch and the riding horses. It did okay in combat. One thing that I did want to mention about this horse that I thought was really weird, and I don't know if it was just I noticed it because it was happening or what it was that was causing it. This horse, and I wish I would have hit record on my Xbox a couple times that it did it. I feel like this horse has had more personality than any of my other horses, which I know that isn't a thing they put in the game, and that's not an actual thing they programmed into the game for the horses to have different, randomized personalities. But I'm thinking of a moment when me and my friend were playing. We were doing some sort of free roam thing where it was like clear a hideout or something like that. We were just looting bodies, and my horse, I had whistled for it because we were getting ready to leave. And it walked kind of in between some tents, kind of in like a little camp area. It walked in between some tents and like a campfire. And then it suddenly like just started to reverse. And I've never seen a horse reverse on its own, but it just started to reverse out of where it was and then loop back around to me. That was one of the moments that I felt like it just had this weird thing that it did that I wasn't expecting, that makes me think that it, it has more personality than any of my other horses. I'm trying to think of any other moments that I can think of particularly. It also just, I feel like it like spooks really uniquely. I know that's not necessarily unique what just happened with that snake, but I feel like it just behaved differently than any of the other horses that I've ridden. Same with the Suffolk Punch. Kind of changing the subject real quick. I do like that this horse is chestnut colored. I don't love that I can't totally find a perfect mane and tail that I love. I do like what I've settled on here with the chestnut colored mane and tail, but I feel like it just kind of makes the horse look pretty bland and not have any standout features. But I do want a good chestnut horse to have as just kind of like an everyday riding horse, and so I think that it's still going to be that Tennessee Walker that's chestnut, but this was one that I considered based on the way it looked. So as far as combat, like I said, it did great. As far as predators go, it fell in between the Suffolk Punch and the riding horses, in my opinion. Definitely better than the Morgan horses. I feel like those were the most skittish. There's nothing really to complain about it. The handling was something, again, that I did notice. The heavy handling definitely is something to get used to. The horses just aren't as responsive as an Arabian or a racehorse, or even just a horse with standard handling. One thing that I did want to mention, that I was reading a Reddit thread where it was just a Reddit thread about what's the best horse in the game, and it also mentioned like the skittishness of horses. And the most upvoted comment on that Reddit thread was claiming that the bravery or skittishness of a horse is not a thing, and it does not differ between horses. And the fact that it was the most upvoted comment on Reddit makes me, believe that it's, true. And so I feel like going forward in the series, that is something that I want to evaluate a little bit better, is to see if it really is just all, I use this word a ton in this series, but really all just a placebo effect thing, and it all just depends on how well you calm your horse and what situations you put it in. So yeah, I want to pay attention to that going forward, because I want to find out if bravery really is some sort of hidden statistic or feature in the game. But yeah, so I believe I don't know the exact name of the next Belgian draft, but it is a lighter color, and I know that it has a white mane and tail. So I'm excited for that one. I like these draft horses because it's nice for me after such a long winded category in the riding horses. It's nice to just be able to do two horses from each breed quickly and then move on to the next. So yeah, this has been the Blond Chestnut Belgian draft. Thank you all so much for watching. I'm gaining like 1 or 2 subscribers, it seems like, every video. So I hope you guys are liking this series. I know it's not very informative or anything like that. There is a series on YouTube by a channel called Danielle Cass, and if I remember, I will try to link her account in the description. She does an amazing horse video series. I know that my videos are not near her quality of videos and her editing skills and things like that, because she puts music, does everything that a good YouTube creator would do. I feel like my series is very opinion based and just kind of what I want it to be. So I hope you guys are actually enjoying it, and kind of giving each video or each horse its unique or its own video and moment in the spotlight. But yeah, thank you all so much for watching. I will catch you all shortly in the next video. Thanks so much.